Hello, folks, and welcome to the city of Galati, Romania. This here is actually a video game that takes place in my hometown, where I was born and raised and spent a great deal of my early years in. It's supposed to be a sort of walking simulator slash survival horror experience. So when I saw that this thing existed, I naturally rushed over to Steam and downloaded the game. And I have to stop, really, and just soak in the atmosphere and take a moment to appreciate all the little details. Because let me tell you, as janky as this game is, and let me tell you, there's a lot of jank coming up. One thing that they absolutely nailed is these locations and the attention to detail and just the overall vibe that they created. The first neighborhood that let's say two neighborhoods, because I moved around a lot as a child, but the first two neighborhoods that I remember living in within the city of Galati were honestly not that different looking from this one right here. Particularly the first one was really organized as a giant square, and in the center there was not exactly a park, but there was a little structure, a small shop, which we called a kiosk. So this unironically does feel like home. It's something that has an almost soothing quality to it. I've been booting this demo up over and over just to re-experience this opening section, because I think they've really nailed the atmosphere. And speaking of little shops or kiosks, this
Sper că mai e deschis.
is apparently where our main character is headed to pick up some cat food for his pet cat, called Mustard, or Mushtar in Romanian.
Niciodată nu închid la timp potrivit. Ar trebui să merg acasă.
Right, so apparently we play as some sort of blue-collar worker who's just come home from work, and I was trying to pick up, as I said, some pet food. But the store is closed, so we're going to try to find our actual apartment. Where were we? We're going to head into our apartment. And this little location here, this stairwell into the apartment building, is another iconic element of life in Eastern Europe in general, I guess. But in my case, specifically in Romania, in Galati, this is what we call a scara, or an entrance to a part of the building, stairwell, really. There's a little sign here that says, "Hey, neighbor from apartment 5, stop listening to music after 10 o'clock. I'll call the cops." So clearly someone is upset with us because we live in apartment number 5.
Rahat, tot blocul se dărâmă.
So yeah, as I said, the game tries to be a survival horror type of experience, and get ready for a lot of lame little jump scares like that. But you know what isn't lame is this right here. This lovely little bit of world building. You see here we have a coffee tin that's been repurposed as an ashtray, sitting on this windowsill inside this dimly lit stairwell, looking out the window. You can almost imagine that the residents would come out here during the day for a quick smoke break and sort of spy on your neighbor, on your neighbor's kids or whatever, as they used to do. And again, the game world is full of little details like that go a long way to drawing you in and making you feel at home, in my case. It's a shame, really, then, that the again, spoiling a little bit what's about to come. But it's a shame that the survival horror elements don't really hold up as well. Hey, buddy. This is Mushtar. As you can see, the game is pretty poorly optimized. There's a lot of hiccups here and there, and I'm not even running it far from, max settings. I have most things turned to medium, some to low, and I think I'm doing this in 1440p. So I just want it to have a relatively smooth experience while recording it. But truly, these details are worth appreciating at higher levels, at higher settings. Whoa. And this right here, again, just absolutely brilliant. The grimy tiles on the wall, the old paint job, the dirty bathtub that probably hasn't been cleaned in a while, the cleaning product in a bucket underneath an equally dirty sink, the rubber gloves. All of this, feels very, very, very warm and soothing to me. Yeah, I remember having a bathroom not too dissimilar from this at my grandparents' place from my father's side, where I grew up in another city called Botoshan. But anyway, lovely bit of world building here too. We're supposed to, I guess, take off our shoes, or maybe not. Let's pick up this flashlight for later. Go into the kitchen. This little sectional type of sofa is something we also had at our, I guess, second place we lived in Galati. I remember having the TV up there, and I'd be right. No, there's the TV. Holy shit, that's where it is. Yeah, can we switch it on? Not this one, apparently. Not a lot of interactivity. There's only very, very specific things the game lets you interact with. Can we pick that up? No. Some tea. Okay. We can eat this little leftover drumstick. That's dinner, apparently. Chow down a little bit of... No tomatoes. Okay, we can drink the Coke, though. The guy apparently smokes inside. He doesn't bother to go out on the stairwell, so... Might not be the best neighbor. Who knows? These drapes as well, man. Just the light filtering through them. It is really they really hit the mark with this opening sequence. Let's carry on. There's lots more to appreciate. This is supposed to be the main living room. It's a relatively small apartment, which again makes sense, considering we're sort of a single bachelor working one job and in Galati, so.
Trebuie să înceapă meciul. Fac un duș și mă pun pe canapea.
Okay, so he's going to take a shower and then watch the game. Don't have to translate that. The subtitles are on. But again, there's this type of carpet, those drapes, that old style of heater, the display cabinet with religious icons and little bits of porcelain. Also very authentic. Let's go into my bedroom. Probably a Windows XP rig with Counter-Strike on the screen. Little protein bar. More cigarettes. I don't recall, smoking indoors myself or my parents, but I remember having a neighbor in our first place who did, both the father and the mother there smoked indoors, and every time I went over to visit or they had to watch me while my parents were busy with work, the whole place was filled with like tobacco smoke, and I remember actually kind of enjoying it. I thought it gave the place a bit of character, so I don't know. Living abroad these days, I think people are overly overly frightened of tobacco and secondhand smoke. Meanwhile, everybody's shooting crack up their bums. But that's another topic for another time. I'm gonna try to see what this guy is reading. Splashing Nova, Heaven's Dream, The Multiverse Sky, Animal Evolution, Personal Diaries of Valorous something. Okay, interesting. Meanwhile, I'm wearing shoes in bed, so that's a big no-no. I'm gonna jump in the shower. Let's take a shower. So we're clean now. Apparently we put on the same clothes, but alright. Nice. Good boy. I love it. Okay, let's switch the TV on. Let's sit on the
Ia să
couch
vedem dacă mi iese biletul.
and relax. Surely nothing bad will happen.
Ce naiba?
Ce naiba. The cursing in this game is pretty toned down, I'll say. Perhaps because they don't want to put off younger audiences or their parents.
Ce vrei la ora asta?
Whoa, maybe they're here to complain about the noise again. Fun fact, when I lived in such apartments in Romania, I actually used to have nightmares about looking out this peeping hole and seeing all kinds of weird creatures, aliens, whatnot. So it's sort of curious how that element is present in the opening sequence of this game. Perhaps that's something that's like specific to people who grew up in such buildings. Maybe there's some sort of universal element of fear in looking out that little visor. Oh, nobody's here. Ooh, mystery. Okay, so we go back, we close the door, and try to go to bed, or I don't know what we're supposed to do.
Ar trebui totuși întâi să fac un duș.
See, that's a bit of glitchy scripting there. I already showered.
Ce ai, muștar? De ce ți-e frică?
The game is heavily scripted, so every time your
Mamă,
character...
dar ce aveți de tot bateți la ora asta?
Right. Every time your character makes the smallest remark, you're stopped dead in your tracks and control is taken away from you, including the camera, it zooms in on exactly what it wants to show you. It's... okay. So, a homeless person broke into my apartment. I don't know.
Mamă, ce dracu!
No, it was all a dream. Apparently we fell asleep while watching the game, and now we are like, what the hell? Ce dracu. Literally translates to what the devil, but, what the hell would be the English equivalent. Right. Okay, here we go. I don't know what the trigger for that third knock is. That's the longest I waited for
Nu
it.
e nimeni.
Nobody there.
Ce faci, bă, muștar? Bă, unde te duci, mă, muștar?
Right. So now, we're gonna go out in the middle of the night to look for our cat.
Oare e pe acolo? Ăsta nu-i muștar.
Nope.
Oare e pe lângă magazin? Ții minte că l-am găsit odată pe acolo.
Okay, we're gonna go check out the kiosk. These trash bins here, they're also like a staple of these neighborhoods. Typically, you'd have to, take your own trash out to them. and they'd generally be surrounded by stray dogs, packs of stray dogs who just wait for you to bring some food scraps to them. Uh, I'd be quite scared of them as a child. See, they're absent here in this game, so I guess that's one thing they missed.
Data trecută era pe aici, pe lângă garaje.
Brutăria Neagelu. Oh, that's cute. There's a lot of, fairly realistic looking ads and signs on billboards just with, fictional names because they don't want to be sued, I guess.
Mamă, dar ce matahară de câini și-au luat vecinii. Se pare că muștar nu e aici, poate e prin parc.
So the game likes to, kind of lead you around. Like I said, it's very scripted.
Muștar? Ești acolo? L-am auzit încolo.
Oh no! What's that?
Ei, zgarda lui muștar. Ăla-i cumva sânge?
So what did I think of the demo? Well, it's obvious a lot of love was put into the details of the world, and they really managed to create a very authentic sense of place. The two characters, I suppose the two main characters that we've seen so far, you and your cat, are very endearing, and even the, let's say, B-grade voice acting is charming in its own right. I'm a little disappointed that the big mystery was a werewolf. I was hoping for something a little more psychological or ethereal, I guess. But still, that doesn't necessarily detract from the rest of the things I said. Will I get the full game myself? I have a huge concern that the stealth and action sequences with the werewolf will get tiring and old because of the, poor performance, because of other bugs. Then again, I don't know the current state of the game. It came out, I believe, late in 2024, so I think the devs have been patching it since. It's possible they haven't patched a demo. So it's still a bit of a question mark. Do I recommend this? Again, it's very much dependent on how you feel about the setting, because I think that's still the main selling point here. I wouldn't recommend this just to, survival horror fans in general, because I don't think it's so far looking like a particularly good example of that experience. But I will say this, as far as I'm concerned, this game is probably the only game I'll experience in my life. Not 100%, but very likely the only game that I'll experience, that's set in Galati. So I will get it. As for you guys, check out the demo and let me know how you feel.